Hey gamers, thanks for tuning into Fire Chicken Review. Today, as a special video I want to present you. It was a video I wanted to get out for some time, but when you have beautiful looking minis like you see in front of you, yeah, time is something that is precious to you. Unless, of course, you can go back in time and get these minis painted from your future self. Or if you're me and you're unable to paint, or unwilling is more like it for myself, your future self does a commission with someone from the past to get these minis all done up and looking nice. If that didn't make any sense, that's because Anachrony is a time wobbly game, and I just threw that bit in there. So don't hate me for that too much, but Anachrony has been a game that's been out for quite some time. It is in my top 10 favorite games. Absolutely love the game. If you've never heard of it, I definitely, and you want me to cover the game, let me know. I definitely can do that, but it's been out for some time. And the reason why I wanted to get this in was I originally had just the base game, and when the Infinity box that you see in the background there came out, I went all in, made sure I got these minis that aren't needed. They don't come painted, but are absolutely beautiful and add to the cosmetic of the game. And the minis are the highlight of this video, and it's what I want to cover. And again, for this, what I'm going to be talking about was a commission job of which I asked someone locally in my area to paint me these minis. I said, take all the time in the world. So I've had this Kickstarter for a while, but I gave them all the time they needed to paint the minis. And I'm going to go over each faction and what I think of them. So starting off, just giving you a quick little thing. Hopefully it doesn't give anyone seasickness here. But I just wanted to do a quick little zoom in showing all the different factions so that you guys can see them there. And these minis, a little bit of a spoiler. Yes, I think that they look absolutely fantastic. And I think the person has done a great job. And we're going to start off with these ones in the background. Because this is, you might be wondering, you're like, hey, that doesn't look like a faction that I recognize. And that's because it's not one of the factions itself. It's actually the solo player faction that you can play against. So it's the AI faction. And I think the person that did the commission did a really good job. I love the highlight blues that you see here. And if you're wondering for the colors, they did ask me what color preferences I had. And I basically gave them the art book and I said, here's some images, here's some stuff, and you do what you think it will work out well. And the only thing, they asked me what the base colors, and I said, yeah, just match it with the thing. So I gave them some reference material, but I think in this case, the blue highlights here really work well. And I love the metal on this figure quite a bit. And I wish I had some images, and I'm sure you guys can, I can show you, I can link it in the comments below, or just share it to the side, just what it looks like. But yeah, this one is, to be honest, it's a great little paint job, and I'm no painter myself, that's why I got commissioned here. But I think they did a fairly nice job on this, and it's fairly straightforward. Just the highlight of blue and that I want to call it the gunmetal, but just the metallic look is probably the better answer. And if you want to know the exact paints that this person used, let me know in the comments. I probably can reach out to them, and they're most likely watching this video, so be kind with your comments as well, because yeah, this is just a local person. They're not a professional by any means, but I think they did quite a hell of a job. And so for this one, not too much more to say because it's not one of the factions you play. I love the blue. I love what he's done with this one. And I'll be rating which ones are my favorite overall. But this one overall, it's quite nice. So that's the first one I want to cover. The next one I want to cover, oh boy. So the next one I want to cover is from the Path of Harmony. So the Path of Harmony here, just showing you real quick, this is one of the player boards. There's many. And so this is what the Path of Harmony character card looks like. And as you can see in the background here, this is the guy here for the Path of Harmony. Let me see here. So excellent looking figure. And what's interesting is that because I got the all in, I can actually show you, and don't mind the paper noises in the background, but I can actually show you. Oh, I was removed the thing as I did that. So this is the figure, and so this was the reference besides that thing. So the path of harmony here. So this is this guy here, and as you can see, I think it's a pretty interesting job of going from, of course you can't get all that detail in here, but they got quite a bit. So what's cool about each one of these is that it breaks down like what the exosuit is. So this case, these are all exosuits, and in this case, this is a cedar. So the different things for the cedar here that I want to talk about for this path. I love what they've done with this. So I love, it may be hard, let me know if you can see it. So the artist did try to get that little bit of a swirl in the center eye spot there, the symbiotic control spot. I think they did a really good job with that. I love the green, really goes well here. And the overall one, this is definitely one that I enjoy quite a bit. Like, look at the detail in this figure. I think it's pretty great. And again, if I was to compare it to this, like, I don't know. Let me know. What do you think? I think they did a pretty good job. And again, right, you're using your paints and you're doing what you want. It doesn't have to exactly match. But to me, as someone that is just a board gamer that wants nice looking minis and is knocking his camera around, I think they did a pretty great job, and I think the details really pop here. And I apologize, still trying to get used to my camera, so I'm not focusing too well here. Let me put it this way here. So there you go. Let's do a top-down view. So if you're wondering what that slot there is for, that's where you actually put your figures in for your workers, because it's a worker placement game for those unfamiliar. And yeah, the green's really nice here. I love all the aspects, all the little touch-ups that they did. And I think it's a pretty awesome job. And when you're looking at it from afar here, just it really pops, right? And this is how you're going to look at it most of the time, is that you're going to be picking it up. And this is the big thing. So I'm zooming in, showing you all the small little details. So if you see small little blemishes that maybe I didn't see, try not to pick them up too much. But overall, I think that one is a pretty cool one. And let's get back to this storybook. I know I've gone on to some details. So this is here, what it is, it's just the art in the storybook of Anachrony. And I haven't actually gone through this yet. I've owned the game for some time now. And I actually haven't gone through. I need to go through all the details. Let me know if you would like to see a video, potentially where I talk about the Anachrony story book and just going through what it's all about. So that was the cedar. The next one I wanted to talk about, it's a little bit of an interesting one, of course, and that is the path of dominance. And if you haven't seen the path of dominance before, here they are in all their beauty. And you might be saying that, hey, in that background there, isn't that them? Isn't that these guys just over here? And you would be correct. Yeah, so the path of dominance. Let's talk about these guys here. Another one of my favorite houses, a little bit of a spoiler, but I love this house. And these are just called, these exoskeletons are called the Octopod, as you can see here. And so you'll see that in the image, a little bit more of the metal. There's a little bit less of the blue. And I love the blue that they used here. So originally, the artists that I got to paint this, they were using a little bit of a darker blue. Let me put this back down. And I apologize about all my shaky cam. I'm sure there'll be some comments about that. But I think the artist did a great job. So originally it was a darker blue on top. And you can see that a bit on the back, because it went, he did one color all the way through. And then he covered up with a different color. And I hope you can see it in the final video. I'm looking through my camera lens, so it's a little bit harder to see what you can see in the detail. But I love what they did, and the biggest thing here, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is my favorite model, and the reason why it's my favorite is for the freehand work that he did on the octopus, and doing their kill count, just like you see in the picture there. So doing that octopus there, and the kill count. So this one's obviously a rookie versus this guy here. And then the fact that they have different amounts. This guy here is definitely a veteran. It just looks fantastic. I really love all the colors and all the work that he did here. And again, I can't tell you how much of a difference that you see versus the unpainted models. Like, this is why I'm like, maybe I should get into painting, because these are some beautiful looking models. And again, this is just a person that took their time, did a great job. I love the blue. They went over all the tentacles. They went over, you can see a little bit of blue highlights on the inside. So you got the metal and then the blue highlights. I love that the windows here, or what I call the windows, these are apparently supposed to be the oxygen extractor on the side, I guess. This thing here. If I gotta look at my camera versus reading the book to the side. But that little thing there is supposed to be the oxygen extractor. But I love that just getting all the small little details. That's the biggest thing. And that's what took the most amount of time, right? Getting all that in, and just comparing with another model here. Just looks great. These things are awesome. And one of my favorite models, if not my absolute favorite one. All right, so the next one I want to cover is straight in the center there. And that is from the Path of Progress. So the Path of Progress, another interesting house, another interesting faction. And what does the Path of Progress look like? Well, they look like these bad boys here. And they look like they're straight out of the 90s gargoyles, gone into the future. And so yeah, so it's a Gargoyle Exoskeleton. And this one, unfortunately, is my least favorite one. And I don't think the painter could have done much to have made it better. It's just the lack of colors. And what I mean by that is that if I show you this guy here, and maybe I'll do this to show a little bit more for all of them. So you look at that guy. Yeah, he looks like, oh, my camera doesn't want to zoom it. There we go. He looks like that guy. But if you look at the art book, there just isn't that much color. So it was a hard model, and I know the artist was kicking himself as he was painting it, just being like, what else can I add to it? Because it's basically a two-tone color. You got the gold, and then you got the silver metal, right? And it still looks quite nice. It's just it would have been a little bit nice to add a little bit more flair to it. But I don't know, like if you look up even like the highest professional painted models that I've seen, and I spent some time looking at different ones, it's pretty hard. But you know what? I still love the gold is really cool, and the mask itself is, and when I say the mask, so the gilded cockpit, as it's called apparently in the front there, is pretty cool looking. So I think in this case, it's not the paint job. It's purely, I'm not sure what else you could have done with the model. The faction themselves play really nice in the game. But yeah, that's this one. Let me know what you think of the Gargoyle Exoskeleton. And what I do like about this one, if I was to say something, is that I find that the black on the bottom here really makes the rest pop. So because you got the golden feet and the black bottom, it does make the rest pop a little bit more. And yeah, so those are the gargoyles. So the next one on here is, it's time to cover my favorite house. And this is the Path of Salvation. So this is my favorite house in the game. Love this house just because they're crazy fanatics. I gotta read the storybook, and they look like mole people because basically they're crazy underground fanatics. And look at the art of this. I love the art book. I gotta read the thing. And so the painter that did these models, putting this one up front. So looking at these two guys here, there you go. I think he did a really good job. It really looks cool. This was his favorite. I can tell why. It's my favorite faction in game. The Octopod is my favorite exoskeleton that he's painted, but this is my favorite faction in the game because it has some really cool and interesting abilities when you play the asymmetric side of the game. But yeah, I like the paint job's really cool here. I think it matches the faction. I think the skin tone, I think I would have liked it to have been maybe a little bit, just maybe a little bit more flesh color, as you can see, versus the actual art. Just has a little bit more of a tone there, versus it's just the one color here. But I really like how the eyes pop. And the absolute favorite thing here is that the Big Daddy drill, as I'm going to call it, if you've played a certain little game that's famous there, that's BioShock for the Big Daddy reference. I love the drill, and I love the highlights on the drill. And the other arm reminds me of a movie, Big Droids. I think it's like maybe, actually I think the model itself kind of reminds me of the big clunky guys from Fifth Element, or any like Space Odyssey movie like that. There's a few of them that have that look to it. But it's very cool. I love what he did for the chain work on the back, and the robe being brown and whatnot. I think for the top, it could have used a few more highlights here. It would have been interesting because the back, it's a little bit, and well, the top overall, it has a bit, just the orange overall. Could have used some more, so you can see some color differentiation going on here. So there was some work that was done. But you're talking about nitty gritty, that's the word that I'm trying to use here, comments that I have against it, right? Because overall, I love this model. I think it's pretty cool. I like most of the models in general, and I think he's did a really good job with that. So that is the last of the original factions, and now it's time to talk about the final faction, which came in the expansion here. And you know, my spouse, her favorite color is purple, and they had to make a purple faction, so that definitely made my spouse quite happy. And that is the Path of Unity. So, and also interesting path name. So you got the Path of Unity. Let me put that up here. So that's what it looks like there. And of course, that's that faction just to the edge here. And I will show you the model in a second. And I like what he's done here. Chose a little bit of a different color. So you got like the neon green versus like this is more of an orange here. But I think that's perfectly fine. The only thing that will have made this model cooler and all the models a little bit cooler is if these glowed in the dark. So I'm clearly asking for things that don't make any sense, because why would these models glow in the dark unless he put lights in them or did some of those crazy work. But overall, I think this model is actually, it's interesting in two ways, that it's simplistic and challenging at the same time, because it looks very simplistic. There's the metal that you have on all of the models really is, I like how that they all have that exoskeleton metal look to them. And then you got the purple and highlights, and then that neon green highlights, like I was saying. And the purple base looks absolutely, makes this thing pop out quite a bit. And it looks fantastic. So these are the Paladin, like I was saying. So this little guy here, oh God. So this is the Paladin, so just a little bit more details. Again, getting this art book is fantastic, and this is what the guy looks like. Now, the only thing for this one here is that I think the back could have had a little bit more details, maybe using some different coloration for the gray here, where this is all of the similar color. He did get that purple on the inside. And where I was saying that it's the challenging aspect is I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I go like this. Yeah, you can see it there, where those are all little purple lines that basically had to be painted in, and I'm sure that took some time. In fact, I was told that it took some time, and I could totally believe it and understand why it would. But yeah, I love what he's done with this. My spouse's favorite color, like I said, is purple, and she enjoys it quite a bit and likes this model. And she's only played the game a few times, but this is now her go-to faction. For sure, because of the color. So those were all the models and the art book, like I was saying. So hopefully it gave you a little bit of a glimpse. I'll do a little bit of another zoom in showing all the details like I was going on about. But I think when you look at these models up close and you see the details here, you can really tell that some true love was put into them. And the nitty-gritty picking, if I got it right this time, of what I think of the paint jobs is just that. I think that these models are above and beyond what I was expecting for the paint job. I did want a good job done on them, and I think that the person that did it, who will probably be watching, stressed themselves out a little bit because they wanted to make sure that I was satisfied, and I am beyond satisfied. I think when I bring this out for game nights, when I do bring this giant box that's bigger than Gloomhaven box out for game nights, people are going to be coming and they're going to be attracted to the actual models themselves. And hey, that's why models sell, right? Like minis, miniatures sell, and it's frustrating for someone like myself who can't paint. But yeah, reach out to local artists in your area. They may be able to commission something and do a nice paint job for you. Or, you know, I hear it's not too tough to start off painting, and looking out for all that stuff. It's not my cup of tea because I want to do more video reviews of things and get more games to the table. So I leave that to hobbyists that enjoy painting. And so let me know in the comments which ones you like. What's your favorite one out of the 6 that you see here? Again, for me, my top 3 is probably, I'd probably say in this order is my top 3 models. But if I was to line up all 6 of them, let me know which ones are yours here. So if this was 1 through 6, which model is your favorite? And if you know the factions, you can list them off in the comments. So hopefully this video, I know, is a little bit long, and I probably got a bit long-winded with a few things. But let me know if you like videos like this. I am going to be getting a few other things painted. I got some of my Gloomhaven and a few other games that I want to paint. The biggest one probably being The Witcher Old World once that comes in. So you're talking a while from now. But hey, painting takes some time, and that's what it's about. So hope you enjoyed this, ladies and gentlemen, and keep on enjoying the games out there. That's all for now. Cheers.